What's up everyone, my name is Josh Washburn of Washburn Fabco, and today we're doing something a little different. We're going to be doing a new series called The Parts Runner. The Parts Runner is going to be a personal project of mine. We're starting with a 2000 Honda first generation CRV that is completely stock. Currently has a 2.0 and it is all-wheel drive and automatic. We're going to be doing a budget build. We're going to do a B18b1 swap. We're going to leave the stock internals and we're going to add a turbo on it. At the end of the series, I'll have a complete cost breakdown with an Excel spreadsheet so you guys can take a look if you guys want to attempt the same sort of project. I am honestly brand new to working on engines that have emissions and computers, as I grew up working on small block Chevys, so this will be a little interesting for me to get into. If it goes well, I have a few more swaps in mind that I would like to do. I would like to start a series on my service truck. We're thinking about doing a 6.0 LS in it, which should be pretty cool and keep it really reliable. To find our donor motor, we went down to Pick and Pull, which is our local junkyard, and we pulled a B18 out of a Acura Integra. Looking back now after the fact that we already got a motor, it probably would have been a better idea and more cost effective if I found a cheap car, maybe that was salvage title in an accident. That way I could have pulled the transmission too if it had a manual, to manual swap it. I feel like we are going to end up manual swapping this car too. Our trip to the junkyard was very last minute, spur of the moment kind of thing, so I didn't get my batteries on my GoPro completely charged before we left. So some of it's recorded on my GoPro, some of it's recorded on my phone. So sorry for the inconsistency. Alright, let's get into it. I got a feeling we're not going to find anything, but I feel like anything good worth getting's already got its motor pulled, or it's trash. B18b1. No oil?
No oil.
262,000 miles. We're gonna keep looking, see what else we can find. There's so many cars out here, but it looks like anything that would have had the 18 in it's probably already gone. Or anything with defects gone for sure. Just trying to make this quick, walking through here. If we find a motor, we only have like 4 hours to pull it before they close. And neither of us have pulled a Honda motor before, so that should be interesting. Found another Integra. Can't check the mileage though, and who knows how long it's been open. But it looks like it's ready to go if we want it. Coming up on another Integra. What do we got? No motor. Found another B18b1. We're gonna pull this one. 30,000 miles. Kyle says this is a different valve cover.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I usually see these style covers on the older ones.
It's leaking, but it doesn't look bad at all, honestly. Oh, those look good, huh? Those cams look good. I don't know. They don't look bad. With the valve covers off, we got a good look at the cams and decided that they were in decent enough shape that we wanted to pull this motor out. So we got to tearing it down. I didn't happen to record all of the footage since some was on the GoPro and some was on my phone, and at some points we just wanted to get stuff done. One thing that's nice about pulling a motor from a junkyard is that if something's in your way, you could just cut it off. As you can see here, I'm just using a Sawzall to cut the front half of the car off, which makes it a hell of a lot easier to get down to the motor.
Oh, I bent the dipstick.
Pretty much got everything disconnected from here. We're going to use a seat belt to loop around the motor to pull it out. Hopefully that works. At this point, we were having some troubles getting the transmission completely disconnected from the engine block. Like I said before, neither of us have pulled a motor from a Honda and didn't know that we had to completely take out the CV axles. Once we had it out, we realized there was a couple bolts on the back there that had to come out. And here the motor is with the tranny dropped. I wish we would have grabbed some more of the accessories that were on the motor because we paid for a complete engine, but we didn't. And here it is loaded into the back of the truck, ready to head back to the shop. We got the motor to the shop. It's pretty dirty, as you can see, but when you think about it, if it's dirty, that's probably a good thing, because if it was clean, somebody was probably already had this motor tore apart and couldn't get it to run right. Probably needed some further work. On the first day of cleanup, we used a wire brush on a drill and some degreaser. It worked, but it didn't work that good. I ended up borrowing a power washer from one of my friends. I'm out here cleaning up the motor right now. It's coming out pretty good. Just taking a long time. We haven't verified that it has compression yet, so I'm not really sure why I'm cleaning it right now. But the part we need to check the compression is a bolt for the harmonic balancer so that we can put an impact on it and turn it to check the compression. So hopefully it has good compression. I'm about to go right now and pick it up. So we'll find out here shortly. We couldn't find the actual harmonic balancer bolt. The one we got at AutoZone that I went to pick up was the wrong one. We ended up finding a drain plug with the same thread pitch, and it worked. We didn't get to use the impact on it. We used a breaker bar, so our numbers probably weren't really that accurate, but by hand we were able to get around 50 to 60 on all cylinders, so it was a consistent number. Just wait until the compression stroke and then putting all your weight on the breaker bar. That's about as good as we're going to get right now. At least there's no cylinders that are having zero compression. So since we know there's compression, we're going to keep this motor for sure. The junkyard we went to has a 30-day warranty. We're not going to be able to run it between then, but now it's time to just tear it down and clean it up the rest of the ways. So we're taking off everything on the intake side because the day before we only did the exhaust side. When you're removing gasket material from some aluminum heads, be very careful. I was using a razor blade at first, and while it worked, I was getting a little bit of scoring more than I liked, so I went and got some scrapers from Ace Hardware. I believe they are like a painter style scraper. They worked pretty good. Got the gasket material cleaned off on the intake side, plugging all the holes to get it ready to pressure wash again. And I'm doing the same thing on the opposite side, getting all the material off the exhaust gasket. This side wasn't too bad compared to the other side. Pressure washing a motor kind of scares me, but we're going to try to avoid as much water as possible from entering. It ended up coming out a lot cleaner, a lot faster than with using the drill with the wire brush on it. I mean, you can see I'm just blowing through the stuff, but we are getting some water down in the head, which is alright because we'll blow it out when we're done here. When we grabbed this motor from the junkyard, there was only 2 bolts on the valve cover, and we ended up losing them, which caused a good amount of water to get past the gasket and down into the head. But the motor came out pretty damn clean, if you ask me. It looks pretty good. Good enough for me. And then I just sprayed off and degreased all the external parts that we had. My original plan was to repaint the block gray, but I think we're just going to leave it the aluminum color that it is. And for the external parts, I'm either thinking black or doing them all red. Still undecided. That'll be figured out in our next video. Since we got water down through our valve cover and into our head, some of the water went into the pistons as well from the outside of the head at the intake and exhaust ports. So what I did here was take the spark plugs out, blow some air through it while I'm turning the motor over so that I can blow the air out the intake and exhaust ports. So we got the motor all cleaned up, sitting on the stand. I gotta paint these parts. That'll be the next video. I'll go over how I'm painting them. Just get them to look decent. I'm trying to keep it cheap, so I'm not trying to go all crazy. If I was not trying to go cheap, I would probably have a lot of the stuff powder coated. But we're doing this on a budget, so I'm kind of surprised I'm even painting this stuff. But between paint and the stripper, it was only like 35, 40 bucks. So we'll do that since we're here. If you're one of my longtime subscribers, please let me know if you like these style videos. We're going to keep moving with this series. I've already got some lowering coilovers for the car, but I don't get the car until the end of this month. So the next video will probably be all about painting, and then the next video after that we're going to be installing some coilovers and doing a review on those. If you like this video, please drop me a comment, a like, and a subscribe to give me some motivation to keep making these, because this video took a long time to edit, more than my typical videos. I actually think I was able to pull the motor out of the car faster than I was to edit this video. So thanks for watching, everybody.